Hello, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of WhoDat. Woot! So on this show, we are going to have a plethora of artists and creators that I happen to know or have met or will talk to in the future. So today, we're going to get into some nice conversation about a newly released project. I have Nick Nubz and Bucket J. Oh my goodness.
Hold for applause, man. Like
I love it. So, hello guys. It's nice to sit with you.
Hello, WhoDat.
Hello, WhoDat.
Why don't
my
you give
nigga.
a whoop whoop? Whoop whoop.
There we go. Like I said, I am Papa J.
Papa
today.
J.
Let's talk. So, hello, gentlemen. Say hello, Nicolou.
Hello, everyone listening. Nick Nubz into his house. You know what it is?
So, guys, just released was what?
Knock knock, motherfucker.
All right, tell us about Knock Knock.
Well, Mike and I made a tape. It took 10 months. And in the beginning, its ideas and the way it was formed was kind of all over the place. They didn't really have a general idea at first.
At first, it started off as a couple songs we made, and we were like, hey, maybe we can go for an EP.
Yeah.
And then we kept just making more and more songs. It got up to like 10 songs, and it was like, yeah, I think we're making like an album here. And then it got up to like fucking 17. Can I curse? Is this a thing?
Bro, curse, you can talk about drugs. As long as it's not incriminating, like the bodies over here, it's fine.
I don't know.
Talk your shit.
Anyway, so it ended up being like 17 songs, and we were like, okay, we got to cut it here, no more.
Yeah, that just kept happening where it was like you'd send me beats and you're like, there's an album beat. And I was like, it is though. And then I would just start thinking like, I mean, a lot of the songs were wrote at work. I would like, cleaner. So like I'd have time in between, like, I'd be done with some stuff and kind of got a moment of myself. And I would be like, I guess like in my feelings, in my head, sometimes feeling myself for some reason. Like I was just on some, like, I knew it was album mode for sure. There was no fucking around. When we got to a point, I was like, all right, this has to be the best shit ever or I'm done.
Now, that being said, Nick, how long have you been in the game?
Defining the game.
Defining the game? It's a black gentleman with a star on his face. No, how long have you been rapping?
I get it.
How long have you been making the rhymes?
I started writing when I was 7 years old. I discovered rap when I was like 9 or 10. By the time I was 14, I got to a point where I was like, you can do this for a living. You can make money. So, I guess I would say I'm gonna be 27 in like a week. I don't know. That's how long. That's basically where I'm at.
Now, in the other half, Mr. J, Mr. Buckets, or Mike, what do you want to be today?
Bucket J, Mike, it's all there.
All right, Bucket Mike. How long have you been producing and making tunes?
I think I was 19. I made my first beat, and it was just like fucking around because I used to do video, and so I got on Final Cut, and so I got Logic to make my own music, I guess, for it. And at first it was like that was terrible, but I made a beat and it was like also terrible, but I just kept doing it, and as I guess kept going, I felt myself getting better, and now I actually really like it,
Awesome.
So I always push it. Now I'm 20, so 5 years. To answer your question, 5 years of making beats.
That's awesome. Fucking shit, man. And it ain't no secret to anyone listening. We all know each other quite well. So this isn't a stranger conversation. It's we're awkward as shit because we have to have a formal conversation.
Formal conversation, half of us are getting lit.
I mean,
I got my beer.
I'm pretty sure we're all lit.
It's
Well,
always
let's not
lit,
yourself.
fam.
I just want to
It's
comment
being
real
lit,
quick.
man.
Even though you think you were terrible in the beginning, even in the very first beats you'd ever show me, you had development, you had an idea, there was a clean structure. Don't sell yourself short. Like you were pretty good even in the beginning, but you refined yourself, and then you started challenging yourself, and your level of ability went from what I would say was like pretty good startup to like holy shit, like this is out. You know what I mean? This is not a mixtape beat. You know,
I appreciate that.
Nah, no
You're
problem.
always your hardest critic, you know.
Gotta be.
You always know where you went wrong.
Yeah.
So from an outsider perspective, I thank you.
Well, that was just cute. So let's go through the process. Let's take a song like High Gear, and we're going to hear High Gear later on. Tell me the process I went through getting to the finished product with High Gear.
This is a fun story.
That's the greatest song to ask about because that was the first song I wrote for the tape. And when I wrote it, it was to a different beat, and it was goofier. And I say goofier because it was like, just more like the beat for Talk Real is more like, wah, 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 wah. It was similar to that, but not as well done. And Mike and I really didn't believe in that project, like High Gear as a song individually in the beginning. I think we were both kind of on the same page of it being the weaker track.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, way later, towards the end of the development of the album, Mike sent me the beat, and it was for, like, he just wanted me to make something with it, and I heard it, and for some reason, like, I was like, you know what, I started, like, rapping High Gear to it, and I changed the hook slightly. It used to be, like, high gear, who's up next, I'm right here. So that got switched to faster, and then that caused for another need for, you know, so it was high gear. Who's up next, I'm right here. So it became a quicker paced song. It was a tempo we were both happier with. And then I laid the track, and I was working on it, and it was basically just similar to Form, where it was like a similar tone, the same idea, the same sound, but it was basically that song. I thought it was done, and then Mike came over and he was like, I wanted you to scream on it. And I remember thinking, like, what kind of screaming, and like thinking about how to scream a record, and like what it is, like how the fuck you get yourself in the mental space to rap while hollering. And I even asked you, I think I was like, do you want me to go like super hard aggressive MC, or do you want me to go like Denzel Curry Suicide Boys type of shit? And you're
I said like act like you've already told your 4-year-old twice.
Oh my god.
I remember,
and then right away, then we hit record, and he did it one take.
No, it wasn't that advice. I remember when you said it, I laughed and I was like, "That's horrible." That was like the first thing, because I've been in the engineer's shoes, obviously. Like when you if I gave advice like that to somebody I was recording, I'm sure they'd be confused. Like, what do you mean? Like, what did they do? You know what I mean? Like, did they just punch a baby? Did they kick a dog into traffic? How mad am I? You told him twice. Implies it's something that's petty.
Stop
and
kicking
annoying.
the dog into the yard.
Yeah, like, so I don't know. I mean, for me, it was like the first thing I thought of was Denzel Curry. Honestly, that was the first thing that popped in my mind. I was like, this guy is really good with the aggressive rap, where it's not necessarily metal screaming, but it is aggressive and from the heart. I remember kind of having a meeting with myself and being like, how does he do it? And then I thought, well, you know, he probably thinks every line I'm about to spit is coming right from me. Everything I'm about to say is so, like, I'm so proud of it, I'm screaming it kind of shit. And, like, so even if the lyrics I thought were kind of, like, okay-ish, that delivery put that song into another level, and then it was mixing it, and that was a whole period of time, like, probably a couple days before that was done. I made, like, 5 different versions of emails.
Yeah.
So, let's put some clarity on this. Who recorded it?
It was recorded in
Was
my
that yours?
previous place of living.
Yeah, it was your place,
Yeah.
and it was already laid, like most of it, until I got there and he put that extra screaming track on.
Yeah, that's right. You recorded the original layer, then we cut new things at my house. That's right. I was at his house originally with High Gear.
with the other beat.
Yeah, because with the other beat, and then did we use the same vocals? Because I ended
No,
up...
we didn't.
Yeah,
There's a
okay, so it
different
was
tempo,
recorded.
so-
Yeah, so it was recorded in my house.
So to clarify, if y'all didn't catch the subtext there, these guys did this all on their own. There isn't anyone else involved in this. Well,
Give or take.
Give or take. The process
We
is
got our features.
these gents getting in there. They're
I'm also a knowledge manager. Like,
well, of
the
course, the
manager,
manager.
yeah.
But I mean, like, what's being recorded is not going to another engineer. It's not outsourced beats. We got the beats. We have the sauce and the talent of engineering.
Everything's between me and Nick, yeah, as far as engineering goes.
Yeah, for the most part.
All of it, no. All of it is both me and you.
I mean, there was, other than the features, other than the other writers, like, as far as, you know, people that came in, I mean, I feel like the features on the album really gave it its extra sauce, if you will.
Let's shout out on those guys. Who was on the track?
Lil Ray Ray. Right
Chill
off the...
Smith.
Wow, holy shit.
Because he's the first one on the tape. We're both
Yeah.
programmed. No, Lil Ray Ray. I'll talk about one individually, because it was a cool thing to work with all of them.
And they're on which tracks?
So Talk Real has Lil Ray Ray, who is a younger gent. He's, I believe, 16 or 17 years old. I came across him while recording because as anybody who may know out there, I don't know how many people are listening or where you're based from, but been running studio for a long time, so I meet a lot of artists through recording and, you know, just having good artist relationships. So I met Lil Ray Ray gratefully through that. And I thought he had a lot of potential, and he was really dope, and he had his own style, and he had something real to say. And then as a person, I fucked with him heavily. So I knew that, you know, I wanted him on this tape somewhere. Talk Real felt right because he is good at talking real. And I'm considerably older than Lil Ray Ray, and we both have what you call similar perspective on the overall world we're living in, specifically the United States. And, you know, the way he talks about, like, his truth, and that's all I wanted, you know, when I wrote the song. I was like, I just want someone else to come in here and talk their truth, and Lil Ray Ray was the best person I could think for that. Then there's, I believe Chill Smith is
Chill
next
Smith
on
on
the tape.
different.
Chill Smith is a good friend, known him a long time. And
Hopefully a future man to talk and learn who that is.
Facts,
Mhm.
yeah, Chill Smith, absolutely. Once known as Nubz Star.
I still have one of his business cards, I think, when he had New Star.
I still have the album.
Yeah, this was kind of like a double whammy because one, I've known Chill Smith a long time, and Mike literally suggested him exactly for the track he ended up on, but also because I kind of owed him one because he had me on his tape, and his tape did really well. Asbury, I think, gave it an award. So I'm on, you know, the album, the fucking number one spot, and, you know, I thought Chill Smith made a really dope album, so I was like, I want to feature him on my shit when it finally is done. And then he was one of the last, he was one of the last records.
Yeah, because we had to wait for him to send his vocals over.
Yeah, and when he did, I placed them, and then he hit me up, and he was like, they're actually placed
Yeah,
wrong.
it's
And
in the wrong
originally we were
spot, yeah.
fucking with it. And then we switched it up, and I was like, oh, I see his pocket now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I thought it was a really interesting, cool way he went about the track. I love the bars he spit. He had, you know...
He had such a cool flow, too.
Yeah, he really went off, you know, like, really seriously, like, again, talked his truth and did it very well in an MC, like... Yeah, and then Sincere, who
Sincere
is the craziest
Love-
feature to have on here.
Love Sincere. Ever since
Another one.
the first time I saw Sincere, he was doing like a spoken poet type of thing at the Strand, right?
Oh my god, the
Yeah,
Strand
At
show,
the
yeah.
Strand. And ever since then, I was like, dude, I love this fucking guy.
Yeah, he's not only my man, but, like, he's a slam poet, as Mike said, so, you know, he's not a rapper. He started as a slam poet, but the way he raps is very highly influenced by slam poetry, and that's why it's so dope. Plus, for the lo-fi track that is Stay, he was a perfect addition. Originally, I was deciding between Lil Ray Ray for Stay or Talk Real, and then Talk Real for Sincere or Stay for Sincere. It was all a kind of a mix-up. And I just didn't know which one to really put either one on because they both would shine in both, you know, songs. So it was kind of like Sincere, I thought, would bring the craziest wordplay if I put him on some, like, hip-hop shit, whereas Talk Real is more, like, you know, personal and socially aware and shit. Like, yeah. And then any other features would probably be just Tori, who made the artwork, and another reason the album is fucking
Big
dope.
facts.
Yeah, like...
Some crazy art. So
Anyone help you make the beats? Yeah, it's all Mike.
anyone else pressing the keys?
I didn't even think I had many
No,
ideas to even contribute. You know?
No, well, you helped me with Stay Okay.
Oh, yeah.
because I was gonna add more to it, and then you were like, nope, send me that.
Yeah, because
'Cause you like
the way
the-
you dropped it and like it became like
A very
too damn high
minimalistic.
every day
Yeah.
of the week.
It's like because the album has its like peaks and then has its valleys, you know, and that was
Yeah.
like the lowest valley point.
yeah.
You know, it added so much diversity to the flow of the album.
I Tried is definitely the lowest point, but yeah.
I guess you're right.
I guess Snake Bitch, but like Snake Bitch for
It's
me
like a
is
medium
I think it's
type
worth
of-
calling like I don't know. I also don't want to cut you off. You have more questions planned. Yeah.
Go talk about
Um,
Snake Bitch.
Snake Bitch was one of the
First
last
songs ever written off the tape because I wrote
first
it
songs
years
ever
ago.
written.
I wrote it years ago.
I gave him the beat. Like it was one of the last beats I sent him.
Yeah, it was
Right?
the last beat, I think.
It wasn't because High Gear was the very last song we finished for the album. Then it was done.
So Snake Bitch is right before High Gear. That's
Yeah,
right.
is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Snake Bitch was basically I wrote because a lot of the girls cheated on me in my life. And I remember thinking many people out there probably experience this, guy or girl. So I want to make a song to kind of aim at those people. And I wrote Snake Bitch to a completely different beat. And then Mike sent me that R&B shit. And I was like, yo, I love this beat. And I thought like, you know, I could go a Drake route with this beat and start playing like really pop. But that really isn't me. And the record just felt like Snake Bitch was more appropriate. And if anything, I thought lyrically as like paired with the rest of the album. I thought Snake Bitch was written really well, but the hook was new. A hook I made completely to the beat Mike sent me. And then like the idea behind it kind of was developed more. I think I wrote a lot more into it. Like the second verse I think was completely changed or something. But, like, you know, just whatever tweaks are necessary. The way I look at it is, like, you know, you have a good song or a bad song, and certain things can make a good song sound like a bad song, so you root out all those things and you eliminate them. You do everything in your power to terminate them with the fucking red eye and the whole nine. Like, you gotta do it.
So obviously you guys been working together for a minute and working on your own individual stuff. Now, who are you gonna say you'd write or cite as some inspirations when you go for like when you're rapping or when you're, you know, producing?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you see?
As far as like what inspires me to make a beat.
Like, well, not what inspires you, but like other artists out there that have like inspired you, I guess, to get into a type of beat, or I want to make this type of beat today.
Oh, it's always what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
So like I'll be listening to like a club jam and I'll end up wanting to make my own club jam, or like some old school boom bap like DJ Premier type of thing, and I'll make that.
Throwing it back.
Very far back, yeah. 'Cause I love boom bap. It's my favorite version of hip hop. You
Shit's
know?
hard.
Hey man, that's
Yeah.
why the show's called WhoDat. Shout out to kids from the burbs.
Hell yeah, Kids from the Burb, shout out.
Kid from the Noise Down Beach.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Noise Down Beach, another project we did together. No, honestly, like, I don't know, who would I think of? I think of Childish Gambino when it comes to constantly challenging yourself as an artist. I also think of Eminem when it comes to being brutally honest, no matter what the cost is. There's definitely things I don't write about because I know they're too personal and too close to home, or they would hurt two people, like certain people, very closely. So I don't write about those things. I make it vague, maybe a couple bars here and there to get it off my chest, but like, I don't know. I mean, generally I just think about I guess everybody sort of inspires you. I mean, everything should inspire you. You know, the world and life in and of itself is inspiring. So music and other artists and every single other take on it can be inspiring. So I'd say that what causes me to write a song is insane distress from the inside for one reason or another. To make Knock Knock, the distress was plain. It's in I Tried, it's obvious. I was at one of the lowest points in my life, feeling like I should have been at the highest point because of what had happened prior, or like bad luck stopping it and making me reconsider life altogether. But like, you know, family connections, I really don't have much of a ground. For a while I didn't even really have a house. So like finding comfort is weird, and making music when you're uncomfortable is when you don't care about what anybody else thinks and you're just gonna say what's on your mind, and that's where it comes from. So some of the records of Knock Knock I never even intended on ever being in the public. but what came down to like, why fight telling people the truth? Basically.
And I would say, honestly, obviously I've been an insider on this deal for a minute, but on the outside looking in, it's organic. Like, you give yourself to it as much as you can, and that shows through a lot of your work. And that's hard to find nowadays.
It's a weird commitment to make. I feel like to just be like, oh, no matter what anybody says, no matter how many times people try to tear you down and make you feel like shit for everything you've ever done or said or been around, you just keep doing you and just keep doing what you want to do. I mean, at the end of the day, when I hear someone else make music or if I go to a show, sitting in the crowd is nice, but I want to be on stage. I don't want to be in the crowd. I don't belong in the crowd.
That's funny you bring that up, because that was going to be a segue point right here. Favorite show you've been to, Nick?
I haven't been to many, but I would say probably the Action Bronson show.
Oh, I would totally agree.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
That's a triple. We got it. That's a good
That was
time.
An awesome show.
Mike almost died.
You almost got
Like-
taken out by
dude, like
Trash Talk.
Trash talk.
Seriously?
So yeah, I'm over by the bar, and the guy who prefers a corded microphone
This heavy punk band.
pops up on the bar. I'm standing right. I'm looking right up at his nuts, basically. And the cord gets tangled around my neck, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna suffocate. And I'm getting it off, and the security's looking at me like I'm just trying to fuck with him instead of save my own life. And I get it off, and I put my hands up like I'm not trying to do nothing.
Help.
Then he proceeds. I don't know the guy's name from Trash Talk. He's pointing right down at me, like I want the mosh pit right here. And so I'm like, you know that meme from.
Meanwhile, I'm in the mosh pit.
Yeah, you're in the mosh pit. I'm like,
Oh,
holy shit, and
God.
faded too because like if everyone's passing shit around. This is before COVID.
It's the show was Mayhem Loren, Trash Talk, and Action Bronson. Everybody was doing everything.
Yeah, it was a great show.
I had to get out of
It
there
was
quick.
great. I almost died. I doubled over when Mike almost was decapitated by the lead murderer of Trash Talk. And fucking I thought it was so funny because in the beginning of the show they came out and Trash Talk guy was like, how many people know of us? And even when he asked, there was like a real like, I can't
like-
wait to show these motherfuckers.
There was like
this."
four
There was, like,
people who
10
were like,
people, yeah.
yeah.
There was literally.
I've heard of you.
I remember one woo in the back. Woo! Just one guy. And I remember by the end, it was like 85% of the crowd was moshing. And I remember just thinking by the end, less of Mike's death. Because I was just like, you know, Mike almost was decapitated. He wasn't. That's really good.
thank God.
But like, as I thought further, I was like, you know, this guy's a great marketer. The guy was just like, he's really good at the market. Like, he came out, he had like, what, 1 out of 300 people that were
Oh, there
like,
was more than
kind of hurting
400
you.
people. That had to have been.
Almost the
That
whole
was a
crowd.
packed house at the Starlight Ballroom.
Yeah, they oversold.
Almost the whole crowd was swinging their arms like psychopaths. It was fucking amazing. And then
It
Action
went from
comes
a
out.
bunch of stoned ass people into a violent mosh pit.
How do you get a bunch of stoners to mosh? He did the impossible in front of our eyes. It's amazing.
That's how it is.
To be honest, like, yeah, but no, best show is definitely the Action Bronson. I've also seen Childish Gambino live, and that was sick. And one moment I remember was the lead guitarist. They were in the middle of a bonfire, and you know where it opens up, bow, and it's like that one guitar. So he fucking ran up and he jumped on the like the box for the drums, and he got really high in the air, like 10 feet. He's a big dude, bro. He got like 10 feet in the air, and he hits the ground. He strums the guitar, and like they started the song. Oh my god, I had like a mental orgasm or some shit. Like my whole fucking world was just like shattered by that jump. The way he came, when he hit the strums, he just broke my heart in a positive way somehow.
And how weird is it that like a heavy trans metal band opens for Action Bronson with like his silly fucking
Bro, you almost died, you didn't. Miracle. You
you.
got the crowd to mosh. Miracle. Action Bronson comes out and Alchemist cheaped multiple blunts, but I didn't see him move his
Dude,
hands.
Dude, you know what's funny? Alchemist came out on like before Action came out,
Yeah.
and he goes up to the turntables. I'm like literally the only guy who's like, Alchemist! Alchemist! I'm like wondering why no one's freaking out that Alchemist is right
Yeah.
there. I'm looking at him.
Yeah. Touch it.
That was me when Action finally walked
Yeah.
out with his short ass. That blew my mind. I've always loved Action, and like I never knew that he was like 5'6" or something.
That's hilarious.
obviously we talked about who we've seen. Personally, what's your favorite performance that you've done?
Favorite performance that I've done?
Yeah, man.
That's a tough question. I don't think about that very often.
I like that time you were in Asbury.
Which one?
Yeah, which time? With Chill Smith?
At the Saint?
It wasn't.
That was
Kosher
the Saint.
Dills?
It was the Saint. Yeah.
Was it the Kosher Dills show?
I opened for Kosher twice.
I didn't see.
Oh
those
god,
ones,
double dills.
Double deals. Double. I don't know. You say shit sometimes it just gets me. Like double deals has got me. All right. I don't know, man. I've done a lot of different shows for a lot of. I guess certain shows have dope rewards.
Which then a couple that stand out for you?
Definitely, like the big ones from Shout Down to Rug stand out because that was like such a wild thing to be a part of in the first place. Like first off, they judge every county and they get one person from every county. So 2 years in a row they picked me. I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. Then I go on there's like 800 people in front of you. And I remember at the time being like, I'm used to like, fire hall gigs and, open mics and shit. I'm not used to 800 people. So I walk out and it was like a high. It was very exciting. So, to have big ass crowds was really dope. But there's nothing better than engaged crowds.
Hell
so
yeah.
certain shows I've done while smaller had a better show aspect versus some of the gigs I did with Shout Down Drugs. While I was very grateful for the opportunity and the fucking money and like all these other things they would give you, it was also for a lot of corporate gigs, and I met a lot of people that had connections, but they had no real interest in working with an 18-year-old. So it was kind of like against interest and things like that. But, at the end of the day, some of the best performances that I have had are like, they're kind of widely varied all over the scheme. I've done gigs for friends. I've performed at my own birthday party one time. Like
Facts.
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 I performed on a cruise ship. There's a lot of gigs that would stand out as far as like weird and obscure. I don't know. I'm happy. Like all of them are sick. Like I don't know. It's cool. You get to do it.
So obviously when COVID restrictions go down a little bit, we're gonna hope to see a new Nick Nubz show coming out. Yeah.
More than hope.
Yeah.
I have a lot more planned than just sitting there with a mic and rapping. I'm very excited for this.
We'll see us
Awesome.
around.
It's not gonna be a game.
This is wonderful. So this has been a good conversation. Obviously, we could talk to each other for a long time.
Facts.
That's what we do. But let's give the folks some information right here. So where can everybody find Knock Knock?
You can find Knock Knock on Apple Music. You can find it on Spotify. You can find every track individually on my Instagram and on YouTube. The
Wonderful.
Instagram is Nick Nubz and the YouTube is Nub Life Entertainment. The High Gear video is on Nick Nubz Vivo, which will have every video from the album. If you just search Nick Nubz on YouTube, you'll find a bunch of shit that Mike has shot, that Jordan's been in, that lots of other people have involved themselves in. I would engage, anybody who wanted any feedback or wanted to give any feedback on any of those things. What else? I mean, I'm sure it's on Pandora. I think it's on Xbox Music. It's on, I think, Rhapsody. It's on anything.
Christ Almighty,
yeah.
that is
You can't miss it.
distributed.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah, everywhere except the physical copy. Copy.
Some Bugs Bunny shit right there.
Everywhere but physical copy.
No, facts, but at the same time, that's very easily doable. It's just not in demand right now. There are certain things that I feel like are more important than getting a physical copy to people, which is just the music
I have a
videos.
physical copy.
The music
yes.
videos are also, I'm working to get them on iTunes as well. There's a lot of different ways.
There's a couple of coming attractions in the future.
Oh, there's a lot of dope shit coming very
Nah,
soon.
we're not
Actually,
done.
we're
not done. The work
This is
just
currently
started.
the 1st of July. And we are waiting back to get, for anybody who listens to this, you just get inside information, fuck it. We're getting an animated music video that we're really pumped for. We're really excited to see what this guy has and what he can do. And then, at that point, we have a lot more video projects planned, not only ours, but other people as well.
We got about 3 more album videos coming out.
And that's just the music video aspect, nothing for nothing. We still have a lot of different short films and lots of plans to make anything, art.
And Mr. Bucket J, Mike Soja, where can people find your shit?
I usually don't put too. I probably should. I have a BeatStars. You can find my stuff at Bucket J. And my Instagram is
Bucket J.
Bucket
now.
J. Yeah. Just type in Bucket J. You'll find. If you go on my Instagram, you find the album cover as my profile pic.
You can even get the shit on Amazon. If you search "Knock Knock" Nick Nubz on Amazon, you can see everything we put out. You know, there's a lot of this is the 4th album that I've released, and there's a bunch of singles out there. Some Mike has produced. We did a 3-track EP called "The Noise Down Beach." It's recorded like Cheeks, but it's
It still slaps.
All I'm gonna say is the sequel to that shit is not gonna be. I'm gonna tell you that.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna tell you that.
We got an LP in the works.
Ooh.
Fucking LP. It's legit. This ain't no LP.
Fucking insider notes here. So, last question, gents. What advice can you give to the young ones trying to get their foot in the door and trying to rap or trying to get into a booth for the first time?
Or make beats.
Or make beats.
You'll only get better as long as you keep doing it. Keep
Radical.
watching those YouTube videos. Keep experimenting with what you know how to do and make it the best you can, I guess. You know, don't doubt yourself, you know, because like when you hear something that you know someone has made, you know, you immediately judge the quality of it. You know, just trust your intuition, I guess.
Yeah, definitely trusting your gut is the first main piece. Trusting your gut versus everything else sometimes is what it comes down to. But really, I'd say, like, find the lane you want to be in first. If you want to just write and make songs just for you, know that's what you want to do. If you want to do something bigger and you want to be on stages, know that's what you're working towards. Just set goals. You know, if you want to be signed to a label and you want to be famous someday, know you're going to work your whole life for that. Just know that work comes with every decision you make, and that no part of anything you see that's all glamorized and made to look easy it's all quite difficult, and you have to be ready to put everything on the line and lose everything too. If you want to seriously do music. If you just want to fuck around and make songs, write down your thoughts, try to make them rhyme, figure out a theme. My advice as far as...
Love your hobby.
Love your hobby for sure.
Until it becomes a job.
Big facts.
Yeah, if you're really working on what you love, it doesn't feel like work, I promise. It feels more like steps on the way to something great that you can't touch yet. But you want to get to a point where you're confident in your actions and you're confident in the people around you. And also, don't burn bridges because you think you're better than the people you build those bridges with. Some people do that shit because they think they're slick. But, you know, you're just a person like everybody else. Don't let the fucking ego get ahead of you and make music because you love it, and don't make it because you want to impress fucking Lil Yachty or some shit. That's my advice.
That's my advice.
Good.
Hit the
Good.
gavel.
Well, goddamn, that was a good, long conversations with two wonderful people, Nick Nubz, Bucket J. We talked about, I mean, I am Papa J all day, but they know that. This is the Papa J Variety Express. You've been listening to WhoDat. Yeah, catch you on the next episode.
Peace out.
Peace.
Yay!